Where were we yesterday? Not yesterday, sorry, last week we did, I think, yeah, the illness of Abu Bakr Allahu anhu, and we talked about how um how they figured out who would become the next Khalifa, and what else? Let's see. And also the life he lived before, like he was like his selfish life that he lived before, and how he gave up his business and used the money from the public treasury to survive. Okay. So now we're on to wives and children. Okay. Sayyidina Abu Bakr was married 4 times. Okay. He was married 4 times in his life. He was married twice before the advent of Islam and twice after after Islam. The names of the wives and children are as follows. Okay, so Qutayla, he married her in pre-Islamic days. She did not embrace Islam. He had 2 children by her, Abdullah and Asma. Roman, she embraced Islam and he had 2 children from her, Abdurrahman and al-Mu'minin Aisha. Okay, so the Aisha radiallahu anha, the wife of Rasulullah, that one. Asma, she had 1 son, Muhammad, and Habiba, she had 1 daughter, Kulthum. Okay, so it's just this. You guys don't need to know this. Just to know that Aisha radiallahu anha was okay. Anyways, we can move on to the next chapter. Yeah. Alright. Abu Bakr, savior of Islam. As-Siddiq al-Akbar took the office of Khilafat at the most crucial and critical moment in the history of Islam. He gave Islam a new he gave Islam a new lease of life after the death of Rasulullah. Okay, if Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu didn't step up with his leadership, Islam would be in danger, because you remember all the renegades and all the whole Roman Empire, the Persian Empire. There was so many threats. Okay, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu stepped up and held them off. And he also fixed the whole renegade issue, so it was fine. Islam was in its infant stage and was threatened by rebellions, the rise of false prophets, and emergence of apostasy movements. He crushed all these futile powers because of his unshakable faith and was able to unite the Muslims. Okay. No amount of difficulties would make him deviate from the Sunnah path of the noble master in view of his great service for the benefit of the deen of Islam at this critical juncture. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu may rightly be called the savior of Islam, because he literally saved Islam, because of I just talked about, like, Islam would be in great danger, and because it was in his infant stages. First of all, the leader, like a leader of Islam, technically, the leader of Islam, like Rasulullah himself, right? When he passed away, and obviously everyone's gonna be confused. Everyone is like, what do we do now? So Abu Bakr, did a lot. It was during the reign of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu that Islam spread across the Arabian Peninsula. A major part of Iraq came under his rule, and Muslims armies captured many important cities in Syria. Thus, Islam started its journey of becoming a world religion during this period. Okay, it wasn't just an Arab thing, because before, Islam was just like, not even Arab. It was just like even like in Arabia, it was kind of just Makkah, Medina type areas. But after that, it became the whole Arabia, and then after that, they started moving on to outside of Arabia. Okay, the collection of the Noble Quran. Okay, one of the great services rendered to Islam by Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was the collection of the Noble Quran. Sayyidina Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu anhu was the best qualified person for this work, because he had acted as a scribe to Rasulullah and was one of the companions who had learned the Noble Quran directly from him. Moreover, he was also present on the occasion when Rasulullah recited the entire Quran to Jibreel alayhi salam. Okay, so why is Sayyidina Zayd bin Thabit was the best qualified for this? Because he used to ask, he used to be the one who used to write for Rasulullah, because we all know Rasulullah didn't know how to read or write, right? So Zayd bin Thabit was the one who was in charge of basically compiling the Quran into a book. Because he, first of all, was the one who knew the Quran the best out of all the people. He also personally heard the Quran, the whole Quran, when Rasulullah said it to Jibreel alayhi salam. And he was the personal, basically, like, scribe to Rasulullah. He's the one who used to read and write for him. So he was the best qualified for this job. Sayyidina Zayd bin Sabit adopted the same order of the chapters of the Quran as it was revealed to Rasulullah. In the compilation of the Quran, a number of prominent companions assisted him. This compiled copy of the Quran was kept in the house of al-Mu'mineen, Sayyidatina Hafsa radiallahu anha, the daughter of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, who was also one of the noble wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so while in the process of making the Quran into a book, or putting the Quran into a book, was he was assisted by other people, because obviously it's better to have more people than just one person doing it, just in case he makes a mistake. And also, this first copy was kept in Hafsa radiallahu anha's house, the wife of Rasulullah. It was proclaimed that anyone who desired might make a copy of the Quran or compare it with the copy that people possessed. Okay, so what became how, like, the book spread, how this spread was that the book that Sayyidatina Hafsa radiallahu anha had, right? People would copy from that and make another copy of the Quran, because there was an original copy and they would keep making copies of the copies. Okay, and then because of that, obviously the Quran spread everywhere around the world after that. The collection of the Quran in a book form is not an act against the Sunnah ways of Rasulullah, because the noble Quran declares itself as being a book in a number of verses of the Quran. In the very beginning of the second chapter, it declares this is the book. Okay, basically, there's a lot of people who, at that time and even now, they're like, why did they even turn into a book, right? Even Abu Bakr himself was actually a bit he was also like, why are we turning into a book when Rasulullah never did it in his life, or told us to do in his life? But we talked about this before. But why did he change his mind? Is because the lots of in the battle, there was this one battle, the Yamama battle, that happened where they fought Musaylima, the false prophet. Lots and lots of Hufaz died, and Umar radiallahu anhu came up to Abu Bakr and said, if everyone keeps dying like this, so if we keep losing Hufaz like this, sorry, the Quran is gonna leave people's hearts, because less people are gonna know it. So we should combine to a book at least, so it's safe that even we can keep learning from it. And at that time, Abu Bakr was like, no. But then after, when he thought about it, it made sense, so he did it. And even in the Quran, as it says, it's literally mentioned as the book, or a book. Yeah. The Khilafat of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu lasted for a short period of only 2 years, 3 months, and 10 days. Calculation done according to Islamic calendar. Okay, whatever, same thing. 2 years, 3 months, and 10 days. Okay, so not even like 5 years, 10 years. He only did all this in 2 years. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't have the questions. Okay, I'll have this open though. Okay. Okay. This is literally what I just talked about right now. When did Umar radiallahu anhu feel steps should be taken to preserve the noble Quran? Or why? Why did he start thinking that steps should be taken to preserve the Quran or turn it into a book? Farah?
Can you hear me? Like, I feel like I'm really quiet.
Wait one sec. Can you say it again?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. It was because during the battle with like Musaylima or something, they lost a lot of soldiers.
Yep. And then he was like, we're gonna start losing the Quran too. Okay, good. Why did Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu hesitate initially? Why was he hesitating to turn into a book? Rahim?
Because Muhammad never did it.
Yep, he never did it in his lifetime. So he was like, why should we do it now? Okay. Why was Zayd bin Thabit appointed to the task of compiling the book, compiling the Quran into a book? Yes. Anyone else? Okay. Fer or Zara?
He was the scribe for the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi
Yep.
Wasallam.
Okay, good. And also, what was the other reason? There was one more reason. Someone else can answer this if you want. What was that? What was the other reason, guys? Why was he the best suited for this task? Yeah, it was because yeah, Nabiha. Actually.
I'm also pretty sure he was one of the companions who had learned the Noble Quran directly from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi
Oh,
Wasallam.
okay. Yep. Okay. Anything else anyone want to say? I have it open now. I forgot. I forgot to flip the page. There's one more reason. It was something to do with Rasulullah. Nabiya?
He was also present on the occasion when Rasulullah recited the entire Quran to Jibreel.
Yep. Good. Good. Okay. Okay, good. Next question. In whose house was the compiled copy of the Quran kept? Whose house was this kept in? Ushba? Ushba? Can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Kamo?
Is it all mominin?
No, look at the word after that.
Oh, amul mu'minin.
No, I mean after. Okay. Look at the next line.
Oh, Sayadina Hafsa.
Yes, Hafsa radiallahu anhu, the daughter of Umar and the wife of Rasulullah. Okay. 1 sec. I'm trying to take the next part. Um,
What was the question you did again?
1 sec. Why? I'm sending. Trying to. I don't know why this next book part and chapter isn't opening. Okay, Rahim, what were you saying?
What? Nothing. I thought you said something. Nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Next chapter. Oh, why? What is? Just give me one reason. Every person. Calm your hands up. By the way, one reason. Every person. Why? Why can Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu be called the savior of Islam? Why? Why is it like good to say that Abu Bakr is the savior of Islam? Farah?
Because Islam was like, oh my god, Islam was like in its infant kind of age, and there's a lot of threats like the rebels and whatnot.
Yep.
But-
Okay, good. Anything else that you want to say before we move on? Okay, then we will move on. Oh, also, for the presentation chapters that we were supposed to do, I was supposed to send it to you. I didn't because I realized that we still have 3 more chapters. So yeah. So I was like, we should do this first, obviously. Okay, let me open this next thing. It's glitching out. Shami, your hand's still up. You're saying there we go. Okay. Okay, so now we're on administration of Sayyidina Abubaker Radiallahu anhu. Okay. So administration of Sayyidina Abubaker Radiallahu anhu, a democratic way of his government. Oops. Why is this annoying? Sayyidina Abubaker Radiallahu anhu introduced the principle of a government by the people when it was unheard of. On every occasion, he decided matters after due consultation with eminent companions. He used to say, I am but the Khalifa, deputy of the Prophet of Allah, and I have to follow only the ways of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so basically what he's saying is that he used to he had like a government by the people, like the the advisory and things that we talked about, those people that he had. So he had those people and he used to consult with them on matters. And at the end of every time he used to just say, I'm just a deputy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning I'm just like like a just because Rasulullah is not here, I'm just like in his place right now. So it's not, you don't take me as like as a prophet. I have to follow only the ways of Rasulullah. Okay. Shura. Sayyidina Abu Bakr always decided matters of state after consultation. There was a special shura. Oh yeah, we talked about it before. Shura, the council of advisors, for this purpose. All the selection or the election of such council did not take place after public voting. The prominent figures, including in the shura, were the most popular people in the public. The membership of the shura was not based upon color, race, wealth, and worldly power. It was based upon services rendered to Islam and closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so the shura, the group of people that that got together to be the advisory council of advisory, they were it didn't matter what race you were, how rich you were, anything. It was just mattered on how close you were to Rasulullah and Allah, and what have you done towards Islam. Ibn Isad radiallahu anhu recorded that whenever Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu faced a problem, he called eminent Muhajirin and Ansar members of the Shura, Sayyidina Umar, Uthman, Ali, Abdurrahman bin Auf, nope. Yeah, Muaz bin Jabal, Ubay bin Kab, and Zayd bin Thabit. These were the people who were usually called for in the Shura. Okay, so now the appointment of officers. For public offices, Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu did not choose his own sons or members of his family, but gave the positions to people according to high merit. Whenever he appointed an officer, he advised him and explained his duties. On the appointment of Amr bin As and Walid bin Uqba as the collector of zakat from the tribe of Qudad, he advised them as follows. Basically, in different cities, he would send officers like, it would be like they would kind of be like the mayors basically of towns. Like think of it as mayors. They'll kind of be like mayors of towns across all of Arabia. Okay, so but these officers were not like mayors. They were kind of just like the people who collect zakat. Like their job was only to collect zakat from this tribe. Fear Allah openly and secretly. Whosoever fears Allah, He provides him sustenance from such source about which he never thought. Whosoever fears Allah, Allah forgives his sins, gives him double reward. No doubt to have goodwill for the people is good piety, is great piety. You are on such a way that you may go beyond the prescribed limits very easily. Stick to the rules prescribed by their religion, and that would save you from all evil. Okay, he's basically just saying, make sure you count all your zakat properly, all the zakat that you collect properly, and make sure you collect it fairly. Okay. Sorry, governor is more like a mayor, not mayor, not what they were. When he appointed Yazid bin Sufyan as a governor of the conquered part of Syria, he gave him the following advice. Okay. O Yazid, you have relations in Syria. Do not try to give unlawful benefits to your kins. Of this, I am afraid of my officers. Okay. Rasulullah said, if a Muslim officer points his kin to big posts which they do not deserve, he will be cursed for that by Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept any of his excuses or apology for that until he enters hell. Okay. Basically, he's saying that you have lots of family in Syria, so don't give benefits to your just because they're your relatives or of your tribe, right? So because he said that Rasulullah also said that people who have an officer who appoints his kin to big posts, like let's just say you're the president, right? And you make your brother or someone like your officer, right? That you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. That's what Rasulullah is saying. Because just in case your officer that is your brother does something, right, you obviously aren't gonna like do anything about it, or even if you will, it won't be that severe as it would be to like another random person or someone that's not your family. If they did something wrong, you would arrest them or you would do something. If it's your own like brother or any relative, you would be lenient on them. That's what's big happening. His extra supervision over his officers, he was strict and his administrator and never allowed any of his officers to behave in an irregular manner. Whenever he found any officers amiss, he immediately warned him. Once on some mistake, he wrote to Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, you are enjoying and the blood of Muslims is flowing nearby your tent. Basically, I remember reading this. Khalid bin Walid was the supreme at that time. He was the supreme commander of all Muslims, of all the Muslim army. Sorry. They took a break. Yeah, they took a long break in some city after like conquering it, and while this was happening, there was a battle going on with some Muslims in some other place, and Khalid bin Walid wasn't aware of this, but Abu Bakr was aware of this. So he sent a letter to Khalid bin Walid saying, you are enjoying after conquering this place, and the blood of Muslims is flowing nearby your tent, so you might want to hurry up. So that's what's. So he was really strict over his officers and all the people he was officer of his government. The capital of the state was Medina. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu and Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu were appointed as qadis, judges, and Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah was the treasury officer. Okay, treasury officer, he was the money person. Yes. Besides performing the duties of a qadi and mufti, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu also acted as secretary to Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Sayyidina, where is it? Osman was the chief secretary and used to write various ordinances for the Khalifa. The governor of Makkah, Sayyidina Utbah bin Usayd radiallahu anhu, he and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu passed on the same day. The governors were also appointed to other areas. Okay, so obviously I'm not expecting you to memorize any of this. I'm just saying, just for knowledge. the governor basically just saying how he managed officers. You know, he had governors of some of countries, not countries, like big cities and right, like Syria, or some cities in big cities in Syria, and then he would have officers who would be under the governors, and also he would be very strict on his officers. So if they were missing or if they were relaxing too much, you know, he would immediately be like, you know, do your job. Okay, Bayt al-Mal and revenue administration. During the time of Rasulullah SAW and the period of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, there was no separate department established for the receiving and distribution of revenue. Zakat, sadaqah, and other taxes, kharaj, and booty were put into the Bayt al-Mal. Okay, so at that time, all zakat, all sadaqah, and taxes, and like, you know, spoils of wars that you would get from from the wars, they were all put into Bayt al-Mal. Like Bayt al-Mal was just basically just the treasury area. Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah radiallahu anhu was in charge of the Bayt al-Mal. This was because he was appointed as commander of the army dispatched to Syria. Oh yeah. So basically after Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu passed away, Umar radiallahu anhu, he made Abu Ubaidah into the supreme commander instead of Khalid bin Walid. Because, you know, there was lots of reasons. I don't want to mention those reasons right now because it's not important. But there were lots of reasons, but Khalid bin Walid wasn't the supreme commander, Abu Ubaidah was. And because of that reason, he made Abu Ubaidah in charge of the Bayt al-Mal because, you know, he was the commander of the army, right? So he knew how much money was coming in from the wars. You know, when they would beat an army, obviously they would collect all the loot and everything. So that's why. Whatever funds came in Bayt al-Mal were distributed among the needy and the poor immediately. During the latter period of his Khilafat, Sayyidina Abu Bakr built a house specifically for the Bayt al-Mal, but at no time was any money or item left to lie or accumulate in it. Once somebody asked Abu Bakr to take care of the safety of the Bayt al-Mal, he replied saying that, oh, one sec. The other page isn't loaded in yet. Sorry. Actually, is it here? Oh, it is here. Okay. One lock was enough for it because much was not allowed to lie in it. Okay. During the first year of his Khilafat, he gave 10 dirhams as a stipend to each adult in Medina, whether he was a free person or a slave. The next year, when the income to the Bayt al-Mal increased, he doubled the amount. He distributed 20 dirhams to each person. He gave the slave and the free person the same amount as he reasoned that in human needs all were equal. After the death of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, when Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu checked the Bayt al-Mal in the presence of Sayyidina Abdul Rahman radiallahu anhu and Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu, he found only 1 dirham in it. He claimed, "May Allah bless Abu Bakr." He called the treasury officer and asked him, how much money did Bayt al-Mal receive in revenue? He replied, 200,000 dinars. Dirham was a silver coin, and in those days, while dinar was a gold coin. Okay, basically, this is just saying how he used to give 10 dirham to every single person, right? And after the Bayt al-Mal's price increased, it's not price, like it started getting more money because, you know, obviously the Muslims were winning more wars and they were getting more rich. So they got more. Then he started distributing 20 dirhams, and after that, he when Abu Bakr radiallahu passed away, Umar radiallahu checked the thing and there was only 1 dirham in it, meaning he like gave it to everyone so equally that it was just literally just 1 dirham left in it. Okay. Yeah, one sec. All right, this chapter is very long. Oh my god. There's only 4 pages left. One sec. Why is it not sending? There it is. Okay. Following. Okay, I don't know where one of the pages went, so we'll just have to skip that one. Okay, this is the following advice that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu gave to the armies that were going to Syria. Okay, do not kill any woman, child, or person. Do not cut any flowering tree. Do not destroy any inhabited place. Do not kill camels or goats except when you need them for your meals. Do not burn an oasis. Do not be dishonest in booty. Do not be a coward in the field. Okay. He reserved a part of the revenue for purchase of arms and for the maintenance of horses. Special pastures were reserved for horses and camels used in the battles. One of such pastures was situated in the Baqi area, and another was situated in the at Rabada. He also inspected the army camps. There were no permanent cantonments during his time. Once an Islamic army was encamped at Jerf, Sayyidina Abubaker himself went to inspect the army of Banu Fazara. Seeing him, all the men stood up in his honor, and he said, Allah bless you. Some of them said, O Khalifa, deputy of the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have brought healthy horses. And mares, and we are very good riders. Please give us a big standard. Sayyidina Abu Bakr said, I can't give you a big standard because it has already been taken by the Banu Abs. Okay, so like he was very he's very like fair and everything when he came to like who gets what position. Just because you have better horses does not mean you get a better position, you know. Dawah of Islam. As the Khalifa of the Nabi of Allah, he pays special attention to the preaching of the right way of life. Because of his efforts, the whole of Arabia once more re-entered Islam. Okay, because we're talking the renegades and stuff, and obviously after defeating those and other armies, he became the Arabia became a Muslim country again. He gave strict instructions to all the armies to invite the enemy to Islam first. Okay, just like in Rasulullah's time, before you fight them, you're supposed to go and invite them to Islam first. And if anyone accepts Islam at that time or accepts the invite, they are free from battle. And if they don't, then they fight. Invitation to Islam was usually given to the opposing force 3 days prior to the start of the battle. Obviously, you can't just do it while you're about to like fight them. You just do 3 days before. A number of tribes in Iraq and other places accepted Islam without being preached to. A Christian bishop of Hira accepted Islam on seeing the good conduct of the Muslims. Yeah, there's lots and lots of stories. Because I read this whole Sahaba thingy, like all battles after Abu Bakr, while Abu Bakr all the way to I think all the battles there. So there was so many times where I read where the Muslims, right, they would go up to the enemy and they would send a messenger with an invitation to Islam first, and literally the whole city would just accept Islam without even a fight. Okay, the Muslims would never just go and barge into a city and start fighting them. They would always invite them to Islam first. Okay. The Department of Jurists, Muftis, besides the judiciary in which Qadis, judges used to decide on cases, there was a special Department of Jurists. The duty was to use the Noble Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah to solve. Okay, why does it take so long? Solve various problems that Muslims encountered. The following were the Muftis in Medina: Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Ali, Sayyidina Uthman, Abdurrahman bin Auf, Muaz bin Jabal, Ubay bin Ka'b, Zayd bin Thabit, anhu. No other person besides them were entitled to give a verdict or lay down rules of Islamic law. Okay, these were the only people who were allowed to, like, if someone were to come ask a question, only these guys were allowed to do it. No one else was allowed to do it because they knew, they were like, Okay. The judiciary was totally separate from the executive. Besides appointing Sayyidina Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu and Sayyidina Ali as judges, he himself was a great jurist and gave decisions on various cases. Punishment. He used to mete out punishment as prescribed in the Noble Quran or told by Rasulullah. He did not establish any police force or any department for it. The police force was actually the first police force in like ever. Basically, the police force you see today was because of Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu. We'll read this later on, I think. He also Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu, I think there was so many things that Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu in his time we're gonna read about was like invented things that we still use to this day. He appointed Sayyidina Abdullah bin Masud as the protector to take care of crimes. He also paid special attention to the safety of highways and to the various parts of the state. He meted out severe punishments to robbers and persons committing breach of peace. Division of Arabian Peninsula into various provinces. Okay, now this is where he. Oh my god. Okay, this is where he divided Arabia. Sayadina Abubaker Siddique Raziulahoo divided the peninsula into various provinces, and the purpose of administration at this time, the following were the provinces of Arabia: Medina, Makkah, Taif, Sana, Yemen. Yemen was South Yemen and Sana was North Yemen, which became one later on. Najran, Hadramaut, Bahrain, and Dumatul Jandal. Every province went under the control of a governor who was the chief executive officer of that region. He did not change the governors or the officer appointed by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam during the time. Okay, if Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam set a governor or an officer during Rasulullah's time, he did not change him. Like he kept him there. He kept him at his post. Like he didn't change his anything. He devoted his energy to the administration of the newborn Islamic state. The reign of Sayyidina Abubaker Radhiyallahu Anhu was short and full of rebellions, yet his administration was very sound. He followed in the footsteps of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam faithfully and to the utmost extent, and kept strict watch over the affairs of his government. Sayyidina Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu always helped him in administration and justice, and fulfilled the promise made by him at the time of election of Abu Bakr Radhiyallahu Anhu. This is just Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu being very loyal to Abu Bakr because since the time Abu Bakr became was elected as Khalifa. He laid down the foundations of a truly Islamic state founded upon Islamic democratic principles. His strong iman and trust in Allah were reflected in his administration. A Western historian, Sir Muir, writes, his reign was short, but after Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself, there is none to whom iman was more dear. Okay, now miscellaneous services for Islam. Sayyidina Abubaker Radhiyallahu Anhu served Islam in numerous ways. Liberation of slaves. Many poor and helpless Muslim slaves who had embraced Islam were persecuted mercilessly by their kuffar masters on account of their conversion to Islam. Sayyidina Abubaker Radhiyallahu Anhu purchased these slaves from their masters at whatever price was asked for them for and set them free. Sayyidina Bilal Radhiyallahu Anhu, Sayyidina Amir bin Fuhaira, Sayyidatina Nazira Radhiyallahu Anha, Sayyidatina Nadia, and her daughter were among many people who were helped by Sayyidina Abu Bakr in this way. Okay, even back in the days, you know how Abu Bakr was really rich, right, at the time. So back in the days when Islam was very small and the Muslims were still in Mecca. You all know Bilal Radhiyallahu Anhu, the person who used to give his azan all the time, right? He was a slave, and Abu Bakr was the one who bought him. So many other slaves who needed buying because they were being tortured by their masters or their whatever their owners or whatever you want to call them, right? Abu Bakr bought them all and made them free, and then there's so many other people too. Okay, finally last page. Generosity. When Rasulullah arrived in Medina, there was an urgent need for building a masjid and a house for him. The land selected belonged to 2 orphans. Their guardians wanted to give the land free of charge, but Rasulullah did not accept their offer. Instead, he asked Sayyidina Abu Bakr to purchase the land. In this way, he became the first to spend in the way of Allah in Medina. Okay, so the land that the masjid is currently built on is technically Abu Bakr to this day. Ibadat worship. Sayyidina Abu Bakr erected a small veranda for his house where he used to spend many hours making ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and recite the Quran, it is said that he performed these acts with such humility and sincerity that he would weep continuously, causing people around him to be affected by his ibadat, that they too would begin weeping. Okay, so he just had a place in his house where he used to pray, and he used to cry so much that people around him used to start crying just because he would be crying. Okay, participating in holy wars. He fought in almost all the battles along with Rasulullah. In Badr, he was with Rasulullah like a shadow. In Battle of Uhud, some companions fled from the battlefield. He was firm on Rasulullah because we all know, technically in Uhud, Battle of Uhud, the Muslims kind of lost. Well, it wasn't really a loss. They kind of like stopped fighting, but like technically, if you look at it, Muslims lost that war. So lots because there's some Muslims that fled too because they were being they got sandwiched in between by both sides. He was the first to accept the peace plan of Rasulullah at Hudaybiyah. And on the occasion of Tabuk, he brought everything that he possessed. Okay, and when Rasulullah asked, "What did you leave for your family?" he replied, "I've left for them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasul." Because you remember at the Tabuk battle we talked about, the Muslims had to go fight the Romans, and they were short on like things. So Rasulullah asked people to like spend money, towards the army, and Abu Bakr bought every single thing he owned, every single thing he owned. And Umar radiallahu anhu bought half of the things he owned. Even Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu admitted that he could never hope to surpass Abu Bakr in his service and sacrifice for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his beloved Rasul. Because obviously after Umar radiallahu anhu bought half of the things, he saw Abu Bakr bought everything. So he's like, okay, I can't even compete with this guy. The Amir of Hajj. And it was the 9th year of Hijrat when the first Hajj took place. Rasulullah had then returned from Tabuk, but he was so busy that he could not attend the Hajj himself. He sent Sayyidina Abu Bakr as his deputy to lead the Hajj caravan to Makkah. In short, it's clear that from the very advent of Islam, Sayyidina Abu Bakr had a matchless record of services to Islam. That is why Rasulullah would often say, "None has obliged me with his life and property as much as Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu did." Okay, finally. Before I continue, I completely forgot where I put the screenshot of what chapters everyone had. Okay, so or did I? Let me check again. Actually,
I remember which one I had.
yeah, you do, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't remember where I sent it. I mean, where I saved it. One sec. If I don't see it, I'm gonna have you guys, like, if you guys remember, then that's fine. Then, or else we're gonna have to do it again real quick. Yeah, I don't think I have it here. Okay. Okay. Let me open that page. And just ask you guys if you guys remember. Okay. Okay, so people who do remember, can you write in the chat what you guys did? What chapters you guys have with your name? Okay, I'm actually just gonna write this down. I don't trust screenshots, bro. Okay, download 12 and 13, Namia 8 and 9. Okay, it's fine, Rahim. Just people who do remember, just if you don't know, just write I don't know. Just write I don't know for now, just so I know. Oh yeah, you did. Okay, I remember. It's fine. Just write I don't know. Okay, Ushba, I don't know. Aisha, I don't know. Okay, so Shama, you saying you level, sorry, so you this one's out. 2 is out. 12 and 13 are out. Yeah, okay. Okay, so 10 and 11 is out. 6 and 7. So the people who are left is Aisha, Ushba, right? Anyone else I'm missing? Oh, 8 and 9. Okay, 8 and 9. Nabila. Oh, okay, so Aisha and Ushba, you guys are the only one left, right? Okay, here's what I'm saying. So wait, Fred, did you get yours? Did you say yours? Wait, I can't. Okay. Someone needs to do this, this, and this, these three, and someone needs to do these two, and then this last one alone. Okay, so who wants to do lesson 3, 4, and 5? From Ushba, Farah, and okay, Farah, you do 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, perfect. Okay, and Aisha, do you want to do 14 and 15, or do you want to do 16? Okay, Ushba, you do 16, and Aisha, you do 14 and 15. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. Can everyone just write? Actually, let me just write it here. Okay. So Shamu, what do you have? Can you just open your mic and tell me?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. 3, 4, and 5 is Farah, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. 5 and 6. Sorry, 6 and 7.
That's me.
That's you. Okay. Rahim. I'm just doing this because I can just write this down. Who is 8 and 9?
Me, Nabiha.
Okay, maybe 8, 9. Okay, 10, 11 was
It's Zara.
okay. And 12, 13. What was that? Gamo, it was you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was Aisha, 14 and 15. And oh wait, yeah, it was Aisha 14, 15. And then Ushpa 16. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Okay, now that we're done this, before we finish, I want to quickly just go back on what we were doing. Okay, clear. Name sharing. Okay. How do I turn this off? There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna just ask you the easy questions for now. because it'll be whoever's gonna do this chapter will be presenting anyways next week, so it's fine. Okay, so how are matters actually I'm just gonna stop sharing, there's no point. Okay, how are matters decided again? How are matters decided on, like, if any problem comes or anything happens, how would Abu Bakr decide? Farah?
I think with like he would make a decision with like the shura, which is kind of like a court thingy.
Oh, one sec. My headphones came out. Okay, can you say that again?
He like made decisions with like the shura, which is kind of like a court kind of thing.
Yep, he had like an advisory council and also, yep, okay, good. Who was one person who, like, just everyone should know this person. Who was that one person who was in the shura at always? The most important person after Abu Bakr? Rahim?
Hazrat Umar.
Yep, Hazrat Umar, good. Okay, the next, if anyone can remember this, what did he advise Yazid bin Sufyan when he told him to be governor of Syria? What did he tell him? Nabiha?
Not to give his family advantages.
Yep, good. Yeah. Okay, no, not this. Oh, what was the capital of the state? What did he make the capital of the state of Arabia? Easy question. Very easy. Anyone? What city did he make the capital of Arabia? Well, not even Arabia, like basically the capital of the Islamic Empire at that time. Pushpa? I can't hear you. Oh, there we
Was
go.
it Makkah or
No,
Syria?
none of those. Okay, anyone else? It's not Makkah or Syria. What else could it be? Farah?
Medina? I don't know.
Yes, Medina. Yep. Those are the base operators. That's where Abu Bakr and everyone was, that was like the capital. Okay. Who was the judge? Who was set as the judge? There was actually two judges, but if you get the second one, good for you. Bonus. But who was the judge? Farah?
I forgot to put my hand down. Definitely don't know that.
Okay. Anyone remember? Who was the judge? I'll give you another hint. We just talked about him, like in one of these questions. Someone just said his name. Nabia?
This is just a guess, Sayadina Umar.
Yep, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. Good. Him and Ali radiallahu anhu were the judges. So if anything ever happened, they would be the judge. They would use the Quran and the Sunnah and like Hadith and everything to figure out the issue. And okay. Who was the treasury officer? Who was appointed chief? Okay, you guys probably don't remember this, but it's fine. Okay. Who was the supreme commander of the Muslim army? Who remembers that at that time? 750 total. Supreme commander of the Muslim army. The army that was fighting in the Persian and Roman territories at that time to conquer Sham.
Was it Hazrat Umar?
Nope. Right.
Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid.
Yep, Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, whatever. I would just mention this again. Once again, he was only supreme commander during the time of Abu Bakr. He was then demoted to just commander, and supreme commander became Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah. Why? Once again, there's lots of reasons. One of the reasons why where the Muslims are becoming relaxed just because just because Khalid bin Walid was Khalid bin Walid, once he was on your team or on your side, you know you're not gonna lose the battle. He's never lost a battle in his whole life until the end of the day, till the end where he died. When he died, he still didn't lose a battle. He died because of an illness. Okay. How much money did Abu Bakr Radhiyallahu give out to every single person in the first year, and how much did he give in the second year? Because he only, was Khalifa for 2 years and then he passed away. How much money did he give out to every single person the first year? For?
I think it was 10 dirhams and then
Yep. Yep, and then 20. Good. Okay. I don't know why this chapter was so long. They could have just made it 2 chapters. When was he qualified? Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, anyways, that will be all for today. I will send out the thingy. You should check your email like by today or maybe even tomorrow. But it should be today because I already have I'll just send you guys I'll just forward basically all the past, because I use the book for my email because I don't really have a book pre-copy, like a PDF of the book right now. I'll just for you guys that. Once again, I just need, who did I need? I just need Nabiha. Yeah, I just need Nabiha. Can you send your email again in the chat? Thank you. Okay, that's it. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanaka bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun alal mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.